the Global Ordnance Monolith. Let's check it out. Today we're going to take a look at the Global Ordnance Monolith. Looks like an AR-15, but it's completely different. While it is direct impingement, the stock folds. This is in collaboration with Foxtrot Mike, and the way the system is set up, it just makes it a very soft shooting gun. Most of the action takes place right here above your receiver. But it also has a side charging handle, which is non-reciprocating. But the big thing about this rifle is the barrel is one piece. The barrel extension, the gas tube, even the muzzle device at the end is all one solid piece. And there are a lot of fail points within the barrel that this just eliminates. It's fully ambidextrous and a lot of other cool things. So we're going to take a look at the Global Ordnance Monolith. And guys, I think this is something that's really completely different than your AR, and yet it's very lightweight. A lot of the systems that I've seen over the past couple of years have been really cool, and the piston guns are really great, but they're heavy. And this gives you a light option, and it exceeds some of the mil spec of the AR-15. Now I want to give a big thank you to Nate over at Guns on Deals for getting us in touch with Global Ordnance and sending the Monolith for this review. We really appreciate the guys at Guns on Deals. The Global Ordnance Monolith, this is definitely a different type firearm. To me, it kind of bridges the gap between the DI guns, like your standard AR-15 direct impingement, and yet it has features that are similar in a piston system. So it kind of bridges the gap. With it being DI, typically you have your buffer tube here in the back. With the Monolith, we can just fold that stock. There is no buffer tube, and that has a lot to do with the recoiling system that goes into the top of the receiver. We're going to get a good look at it. Also, they have a side charging handle. So with that being said, let's drop our magazine. It's empty. Pull back on our charging handle, and the gun is empty. Now, just for YouTube, this is a 25 round magazine because we have a block in it. And this is a 20 rounder. But this accepts all of your Stenag mags, your AR-15 type magazines, of course the Magpul. It does come with a steel magazine, and after range day, it got set aside. But this is a shot of it right here. But you're getting a standard magazine, but it'll fit any of your AR or USGI mags. But one of the biggest features to me is the barrel system. We have a 16-inch barrel. It is one piece of steel. The barrel extension, the gas block, and the muzzle device at the end. All one piece of steel. In fact, the barrel is heated and pressed into the receiver. So there's a lot of fail points there that this just does away with, and it lessens the number of parts you have than your standard AR-15. Now the gas port is 45 degrees, and it really maximizes the gas flow into the system. But the gas block is just a part of the barrel. And the muzzle brake on the end, which is very effective, is also a dead air chemo design. So any of your suppressors that have the chemo adapter can fit on here. Now one big plus for that, especially for states that have threaded barrel restrictions, this does away with that. This is not a threaded barrel. But you can see the gas ports as they come out, and then you have these large ports on the side. It's just going to give you a really exceptional soft shooting firearm. Now the barrel's machined in-house from 41V50 Ordnance grade steel. It's ultralight, it's a very thin barrel, and it has a 1-in-7 twist. This comes in a 16.1 inch barrel and also a 12.5 inch barrel as a pistol form. Of course, you can use a pistol brace with that. And the barrel has been black nitrided. And guys, this is a very light and handy rifle, coming in at 5 pounds, 14 ounces. A lot of times with your piston guns, they get heavy. And one of the things that I love about this is light, handy, easy to carry. The handguard is M-LOK, it's really thin, and it has an interlocking setup with the receiver. So you can see the cutout, so this is going to lock that handguard into place right with your receiver. And you have 8 bolts that hold that in. Your foldable charging handle pops out. It is all steel. This can be switched to the other side and it just comes back. I mean, it just allows you to manipulate the firearm without having to go right to your cheek like you do with the standard AR-15. The upper and lower receiver are billet aluminum, and you have these gates or fences right here that give this kind of an HK look to it all the way throughout. This is also fully ambidextrous. And you can see on this side we have our fire control here, we have our mag release here, we have a bolt stop here. But one of the things you'll notice is with the dust cover down, it kind of holds the bolt stop. And the dust cover can actually be used as a bolt release. That is pretty cool. It just hits that lever and it pops it down. And of course, to keep the bolt back, you can use this lever here. And here on the other side, you have the same thing. We have our fire control group. We have a magazine release on the left side of the receiver. And also we have our bolt stop here, which is traditional. But it is a little bit different with this lever. We have a flat face trigger, which we're going to test that out. And you can see that we have a full trigger guard, again, because this is billet aluminum. B5 Systems pistol grip with the straight angled grip and really aggressive texturing on the front strap and on the sides. Back is smooth. Here on the back we have the F5 folding stock. What I love about this, I don't need an adapter to be able to fold my stock like I do with a lot of the AR style because there is no buffer tube. So here on the other side you have your release button. Just bring it around, fold it into place. I love the look, gives it that scar look to it. And then we have a cheek piece. This is adjustable and the stock is adjustable. So we can bring it back, really easy to lock into place. And then we can take our cheek riser and just bring it up. This really helps to co-witness with your scope or your optic. And then just bring it down and we can bring the stock in. Now it does have a rubberized butt pad, pretty thick. We have ports for your QD, nice styling here on the stock. I mean, the stock itself looks great. And you see this on a lot of piston guns. Take this, bring it around. It just makes for a more compact package and very easy to deploy. But also, here on the back, we have a battery compartment. And so we can pop in any kind of CR123 batteries or whatever you're using, and they will fit right into the stock. No space is wasted. And guys, for a folding stock, it's really solid. There's very little play. And when you're shooting this, right here with this cheek riser, it just allows your cheek to get in the perfect position. Of course, you really don't need it, but you do have that rubberized butt pad, and that just rests really nice on your shoulder. Keeps it from slipping off. And guys, while this looks like a standard AR-15, I mean, you do have a lot of stylizing on the receiver, but right here, this stock really sets it apart. And to me, this is just a good-looking rifle. We were using one of the Primary Arms Prism optics. It's 1 power. It has the ACSS reticle, which is one of the best on the market. And these things are built like tanks. But what I love, it has a diopter ring at the back. So if you have any issues with your vision, this allows you to really focus in on that ring. And it's one of the things that most of your small red dot sights omits. And this thing really is modular, and Primary Arms does a great job on these optics. Now we have a flat face trigger. It has been black nitrided. It helps with the geometry of the trigger pull. So pull it straight back. And there is hardly any take up. It just has a nice break to it. And then reset right there. But guys, with that bolt release, it's just so easy to get to. Trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 5 pounds, 7.9 ounces. 5 pounds, 9.2 ounces. Big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammo. All made in the USA, one of the biggest suppliers of ammunition in the country. One thing you'll notice about this mag is it's curved, which you have your standard Magpul mags, P-mags.
Guys, this is Global Ordnance's first offering, the Monolith. Of course, this was designed by Foxtrot Mike. They do a great job. You have your charging handle, which is different. You don't have that charging handle in the back. Of course, it uses your standard AR magazines. One thing about this rifle, though, is this 45-degree port, which actually is built into the rifle. A very solid system. And it's one of the things that can go wrong with the gas port and the gas block. So that kind of eliminates that. Full ambidextrous controls. I mean, everything on here. And what I really love is being able to take this and just fold this down. And of course, you can't do that with the standard AR, and it gives it that scar look to it. Fully adjustable cheek piece and back and forth. I mean, it just makes it a very versatile rifle, but still has all the controls of an AR except for that forward charging handle. But overall, I mean, it's just a great little rifle, and it's super lightweight. And really, there's hardly any recoil, and you don't have that buffer spring coming back, which can be a little bit annoying. But overall, lightweight, super easy to shoot, and all those controls. I mean, this is really above and beyond your standard AR, but it still has the same manual of arms. Been very reliable. I mean, just a great little rifle.
And guys, we have just revamped our website at suitsgear.com. There's a lot of different suit swag over there, patches, t-shirts, different things. But there's also a lot of my favorite products are there. We also have the Suits deals where we find all kind of deals and offer those to you guys at some of the best prices. Another thing that we do is a lot of the videos that were taken down by YouTube, which we call our contraband or banned videos, and all that's over on suitsgear.com, so check it out. Okay, disassembly. We're gonna go ahead and check to make sure the gun is unloaded. Now this is a little different than your standard AR. So we're going to push our takedown pin and just pull it out from the back. And you'll notice that it binds up. So you push it back down. Go ahead and bring your folding stock around. And right here in the back of your stock, you'll notice this little circle at the top. And that is your piston. So we're going to push that in. And when we do, we can release the stock. Now one thing you need to do is make sure that you have your hand over that little piston, because what will happen is that'll shoot across the room, and I can tell you from experience. We're going to bring back our charging handle and just pull our bolt right out. This is a shortened bolt, and then we have our gas key locked into it on the top, and so this actually fits right through this spring, and that's the way you can get this to the top of your receiver. And so all the action, the recoiling action, is right here in the top of your receiver. And so it's not going back onto your shoulder. And so it just makes it a very balanced feel to it. It definitely gives you a unique recoil impulse, but with that muzzle brake and the way the gas system's set up, it is a very soft shooting recoil impulse. Now we're going to bring our stock back out, and we're going to take our pivot pin and go ahead and pull it out from the other side. And now we have our receiver. Standard AR-15 trigger system. A lot of the parts are interchangeable with your AR-15. But of course, you don't have that buffer tube, buffer spring, or buffer. And looking inside, it looks pretty much like a standard AR, but you just don't have the slots for your charging handle. Now the bolt is very similar to your AR-15 as far as the design. And so first we're going to remove our firing pin, and we just want to pull it out, the retainer pin. Let that come out, and I think this is definitely an AR-15 firing pin. Now take your cam pin and turn it on that flat side, because you want to get it under your gas key, and that's going to allow you to be able to pull it out. And then we can pull out our bolt. Now to reassemble our bolt, we're going to check to see where our extractor is, and then we're going to place in the bolt into the carrier. Then we're going to take our cam pin and we're going to place it back in, making sure that flat surface is toward the gas key. Make sure your cam pin with that flat surface, it actually goes around like this, and that way you can drop in your firing pin, just like that. And then we're going to take our firing pin retainer pin, just like with all of them, you have to fiddle around with it, and then it just pops into place. Now let's go ahead and reattach our receivers. First we're going to put in our pivot pin. Now with your recoil spring and guide rod, this little rod has to go right through the back of the gas key. And so when you're putting this back in, sometimes you have to fish it to get it right into that place. So first thing we're going to do is make sure our bolt is out, and then we're going to place it into the back of the receiver. Now you can do it this way, but typically, yeah, that way we can catch it, and then as we push it forward, it's already set. Now we're going to bring our receivers together, just depress that pin. And then once you do, you can bring that down and it'll snap into place. And then hit your takedown pin. We're going to test for function, and we're back in business. Now, keeping your firearms maintained and cleaned is vital. Otis makes some of the best cleaning equipment out there. They make a number of different kits that are dedicated for different rifles, pistols. They also have Shooter's Choice, which makes excellent CLP and bore solvent and different cleaning materials. The ripcord is one of their signatures, and there's a whole system based around it. They are suppliers to the U.S. military. And so here we have our tactical kit. It's a very compact little pouch, and you have everything you need to keep your firearm cleaned in the field. But then also they have larger kits with the steel rods and with rip cords, and they make a number, in fact probably the most I've ever seen. And then of course they have tools as well. So check out Otis Technologies, highly recommended, and we want to thank Otis for being a sponsor of the channel. Well, the retail price is $1,250. At Guns on Deals, this is $11.99 shipped. So what are pros and cons? First pro is the barrel system. I mean, it's a monolithic barrel. It's one piece, 45-degree gas block that's set. Your muzzle device is part of the barrel. Your receiver extension is part of the barrel. Barrel's heated, put into the receiver, locks it up. The handguard locks into the upper receiver. That is a really reliable and very efficient system that's going to cut down on any kind of malfunctions. While it's still a direct impingement gun, you do have the recoil system that's going on here at the top of the receiver. And again, that allows us to take this stock and to fold it. And so it makes it very compact. I love the stock as well. Highly adjustable, rock solid, and again, it gives it that SCAR feel to it. A lot of parts interchangeability with your standard AR-15. Really nice flat face trigger with a very crisp break. And with the side charging handle, just really allows for this to really just kind of lock back, and it gets that charging handle from right here at your nose. You know, it just gives you a little more ergonomics. What are some cons? Well, it's a new system, and so it's going to have to be tried out and tested out. Of course, Foxtrot Mike has been doing this for a number of years now, producing some really cool, innovative designs. I love the weight. It's just so lightweight, and it makes it really handy. Any other cons? Well, is it worth going from your standard AR-15 to this type rifle? And I would say that there are a lot of advantages here. If it were just the recoiling system, maybe, but with that monolithic barrel, that's going to really be a game changer as far as complete reliability. The dead air chemo adapter, I mean, if your suppressors won't support that, that could be an issue as well, but typically you should be able to get adapters for that. Overall, light, handy rifle, very reliable. I mean, it's going to be really robust. And the price, $1,199, while that's not bad for this rifle and for all the features it has, really compared to your AR-15, you know, you can get them sometimes about half that price. But most of your premium ARs run that much and more. But overall, this has a lot of really cool features. Guys, while I love the AR, there are a dime a dozen. There's so many different ones. There's some budget ARs, and it goes all the way up to some high expensive AR-15s. But this brings in something completely different, and with that one mono-piece barrel system, it gives you a lot of reliability, or even a catastrophic failure. And yet you still have the DI gun, so it is so lightweight. And again, that stock system, it just makes it very compact. And a big thank you to Nate over at Guns on Deals for sending the Global Ordnance Monolith for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. That ain't good. 0. All right, for disassembly. Guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the global Ordnance. It is one piece of billet steel. Okay, is it billet? I don't even. Now guys, there's a lot of AR-15s. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Beveled magwell, help get those magazines in solid. Solid. What the heck is solid? The magazine is okay, that is just awkward as crap. Stupid crap. While it is a direct impingement system. Okay. Who is this? Who is this? Who is this?
Who did right here?